Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Observer Live. This is the voice of one filthy Tom Lawler. I will be the host today. Bryan Alvarez off on assignment. Lance Storm. Hey, some good news. His knee operation, I believe it was just a fluid drain, went well. He is out, but I told him, you know what, Lance, why don't you enjoy your day? You've got the day off. I'll run things solo. So today it's a filthy solo Friday. We don't know if it'll be fun or not, but we'll find out. And we are ready to do this show because not only am I here, but David Forster is in the chat on YouTube. Shout out to him. We are here on this show 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern with Andrew Zarian, or I believe currently it's Josh Nason, who's been on Sunday. And, of course, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern. It's a cliche, but as always, we've got a lot to talk about. No pay-per-views this weekend, at least not from WWE or AEW or TNA. However, there is a big UFC show, which we could talk a little bit about because, you know, I am a mixed martial artiste by trade after all. But there is SmackDown tonight with 3 announced title matches. There's a big AEW Collision show, which will take place tomorrow. There's some other news, such as the G1 Climax, which will be finishing up on Saturday and Sunday, and Ryogoku Kokugikan, which is the sumo hall. I dare you, Mayu Iwatani, to say that if you're listening. But the G1 Climax 2026 finals will take place Saturday and Sunday, and I will give you a full rundown of what has happened so far in that tournament. And when we come back, I'm going to start it off with the biggest news of the week. But you'll have to wait until the next segment. Wrestling Observer Live.
Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We all went to the AEW Wrestle Dream pay-per-view in the Tacoma Dome. What a dump.
They've remodeled in the last 5 years.
I don't want to watch a show in the Tacoma Dome. I'm over that part of my life.
So this is all about
I
you,
want
okay.
It is all about me. It's my show.
Yep.
Sick of these crappy dumps.
Rico. Yes. Rico Constantino.
Mm-hmm.
When Rico Constantino showed up on the screen, I almost fainted.
If you would have slapped me with a bass, I would have been less surprised.
A bass,
Yeah.
you say?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
You mean the fish or like a bass, the instrument?
No, a bass.
Well, he would have said a bass if he meant a bass.
Shibata hooks a rear naked choke, and Shibata's shoulders were down, and the referee counted 3.
I don't care what happened in Florida in 1973.
That is an Eddie Graham babyface finish when he wanted a heel to get a fluke win.
The crowd hated it.
Hated it.
You know, people are upset that Adam Cole's back as a babyface or whatever.
Why?
But, dude, he's been gone for a year. So they obviously want to do Adam Cole and MJF. MJF is a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Adam Cole is coming back as a babyface.
Yes. Will Ospreay, Takeshita, and Ricochet. My rating for this match was 1 zillion stars. I believe this may be my new favorite 3-way ever. John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson.
You have
Not
to
a
say it in
fun
such a
match.
sad way.
Yes! It was sad. It was a sad match.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Before we even get to the post-match, the whole thing, start to finish, was sad. It was meant to bum you, the fans, out.
It worked.
It worked. It elicited emotions, which is what art is supposed to do.
It was very much like The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels when Undertaker retired him. And, like, that's exactly what happened, is everyone just slowly stood up and quietly, sadly walked out of the building that night.
There was one gentleman that was walking by us, and he was dripping in Bryan Danielson's merchandise.
Mm.
And he was wailing. And he cried, I forget my language, I can't believe they punked out my favorite wrestler like a bitch. And he was so
Oh, wow.
upset.
And we go into that press conference. All I got to say about Don Callis is, man, I can't help but notice he's got a big mouth when he's got Takeshita right next to him, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was a scintillating question. And I think maybe after that, we're finally, the Bryan and Vinny show might actually just be the Bryan show. That was producer Rob level stuff right there. Need to work on your game a little bit. Okay. Next.
Rob's so excited and happy now. He texted me today. So it looks like I'm feuding with Don Callis. Ha ha. That's what he texted me.
That's not the way I took it at all. I looked at his wiener, and now he's mad at me. Duh.
Wrestling Observer Live back on the air with you. Filthy Tom Lawler captaining the ship today. We're going to go through some smooth waters. We're going to have a nice sunny day out on the ocean as we sail the airwaves. But what could be even better than that? What could be better than spending your time sailing the airwaves, than doing it with a nice book in your hand? Because before we went to the break, I promised that there was some big news, and I'm going to tell you what it is right now. Imagine yourself listening to Wrestling Observer Live. You're out on the beach. The sun is beating down on your bird chest, but it's okay. Because in front of you, you have a copy of the new Bryan Alvarez Pro Wrestling for Dummies book, which now is open for pre-order, has a shipping update from the front page of the website. And our man, Josh Nason, put it oh so well. In case you hadn't heard, Bryan Alvarez has written yet another book on pro wrestling as his mastery of the English language continues to grow, while his ability to record the show after AEW Dynamite on YouTube TV continues to disappoint. Illustrated by Gene Selassie, Pro Wrestling for Dummies is now available for pre-order on Amazon and wherever you buy your books. Alvarez is reporting that the book is at the printers and shipping in just a few weeks. That means that pre-orders will ensure the book gets to you on Tuesday, September 29th, according to Amazon. And here's a description of the book, so you can find out if it's indeed for you. It is. Professional Wrestling for Dummies is the essential guide for fans eager to explore pro wrestling around the world, from the top American promotions to the vibrant Japanese scene and the high-flying spectacle of Mexican lucha libre. Inside, you'll find the knowledge you need to understand and follow the sport. Learn the rules and the history of professional wrestling, discover where to watch live events, and revisit the legendary matches everyone still talks about. Drama, athleticism, and compelling storylines make pro wrestling a captivating phenomenon, and you can get in on the action with this Dummies Guide. Wow. Whether you're a lifelong fan or new to the world of wrestling, Professional Wrestling for Dummies is your all-access pass to this captivating sport. It's unknown how many chapters are devoted to a deep dive into the 18 to 49 demo, I hope 0, or how to properly rate a match. And Josh Nason's wondering if Granny wrote the foreword. I have no news on that for you, unfortunately. This is Alvarez's third book he's written or co-authored, which includes The Death of WCW, 100 Things WWE Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die, and his first, in which the act of dying is not part of the title. A question regarding a rumored worldwide tour of book signings on gold boats has not been answered. But thank you, Josh Nason, for that report. But you can find that book. Do a little search on Amazon, Pro Wrestling for Dummies by Bryan Alvarez. I myself was happy to do a little bit of proofreading ahead of this book coming out, so hopefully I didn't hinder the writing process too much for Bryan, and you know what, so what if I did anyways. Let's take a look. Oh, there's also a new Observer up, which you can find on the front page of WrestlingObserver.com, of course, as well. the Observer, written every week by Dave Meltzer. This week goes into the AEW All-In lineup, the final stretch of the annual G1 tournament, which I will get into later. The upcoming CMLL anniversary show, which believe is going to have a big Apuestas match. And after starting his obituary last week, Dave goes more into the legendary career of Dory Funk Jr. Also, a look at the WWE shareholders lawsuit, how much both Vince McMahon and WWE will have to pay, the Eric Cannon, AJ Styles, Avery Styles controversy. Now, I may have time for questions later on, but there was already a question in the chat earlier. Have I ever seen Bryan put up chairs? The answer is no. I don't know if he's got purportedly photographs or something of him doing this act, but I personally have never seen it. And ratings, reviews, and a lot more coming at you from Dave Meltzer. There's not a Mercedes Moné and Maya World rating for anyone that is asking. Far too much for Dave to do this week. Far too much on his plate. And, quite frankly, it never ends. Tonight, we have WWE SmackDown. Tomorrow, there will be AEW Collision. Also, that will go head-to-head, I believe, with a big UFC pay-per-view, one of the biggest of the year, headlined by Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Gary. And last night, we had a TNA Impact show with a title match in the main event, one of the biggest matches that I think TNA could put out there in the main event, as TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth defended the title against Jeff Hardy and was able to retain the belt, pinning him with the Danger Zone. There was also a Knockouts Television Championship Tournament semifinal. Indy Hartwell took on M by Elegance. M won the match. This is like, I hate this sort of finish where the interference is two people who are in a feud, who are not in this match, brawl out and interfere, because that's what happened here. Zaya Brookside and Elena Black, who I thought were both heels, but are embroiled in a feud, brawled out ringside. It's distracted Indy Hartwell long enough for M to throw her into the steps, hit a moonsault, and pin her in this tournament for the TV title, which will only be defended on Impact. And Casey Navarro defeated Eddie Edwards after hitting his Blessing in Disguise Shirin Yui finisher. Alicia tried to interfere, but Casey Navarro got his hands on a kendo stick, used it before hitting his finisher. The System tried to beat him down after the match, but he was saved by Ricky Sosa, Jada Steele, Fabian Eichner. Remember him? Fabian Eichner? And they ran down for the save. Santino then came out and announced a lethal lockdown match for the next pay-per-view. Mustafa Ali, Agent Zero, and John Schuyler took on Rich Swann, BDE, and a mystery partner who ended up being the returning Trey Miguel. And it was also the returning Trey Miguel who got the win for his team, pinning John Schuyler after a scorpion kick and a lightning spiral. Ricky Sosa took on Brian Myers earlier in the show. This is won by Ricky Sosa. A bunch of interference, but Leon Slater made the save. Sosa hit the flying European uppercut headshot, got the win. Moose did a face of the franchise speech, which was interrupted by Kazarian. And they have a card for next week already, as the Hardys will team with Moose and Elijah to battle the Nemeths, Frankie Kazarian and AJ Francis. Harley Hudson will battle Alicia Edwards. Fabian Eichner will go one-on-one against Brian Myers ahead of Lethal Lockdown. And Jada Stone takes on Heather by Elegance to see who will go on to the Knockouts TV Tournament Finals to take on M by Elegance for that championship. And Rich Swann faces off against Brian's muse, Mr. Elegance. You know, I said there was going to be smooth sailing, but I'm already forgetting what time this segment ends. I think I have a few more minutes, so I should probably get into the SmackDown preview. But if I hear that music hit, I'm cutting out unannounced. We'll be back in the next segment with your SmackDown preview, along with the AEW Collision lineup and a look at UFC 330.
Granny, what's happening? What do we got for the wrestling report here today?
Talk or something.
Talk
Talk
or something.
So Niven comes in, jumps on Bailey with her overweight body a couple of times, doesn't mind playing dirty, leaves Bailey on the mat in lots of pain. I found this book. It's called Limericks from the Heart.
Is this a Lanny Poffo book?
Let me finish this one. This guy's name is Lanny Poffo. And there are 335 pages in here. Can you guess what it's about?
Smoking.
Oh,
Sean
yeah.
the Wizard.
Have you read it?
We read it every week for about 6 months.
When I first started.
Wow.
Why don't we start reading some questions, and we'll see if we can spur some answers out of Granny. Shall we try?
I don't think so.
Let's try.
Then you'll really find out how dumb I am.
Granny, did you know there was a wrestling bear?
No, and I don't care.
All right.
It's a bear that wrestled people.
I still don't care.
Okay.
Is Granny frozen?
Granny, you frozen?
No, I'm ready to read my report.
Your picture is frozen.
It is.
Yeah. Or you're doing a great job as a ventriloquist.
Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa, or whatever his last name is. Paul Newman is watching this match, and he's not on
Excuse me?
Cody's side. What's the matter?
Absolutely nothing. Everything's great.
You know, Cody did say that he was looking for a manager. I think him and Paul Newman would be a
What a handsome pair.
a dashing duo.
That guy's a movie star, isn't he?
Since you're on the phone, why don't we just jump right into your wrestling report and such, and then we'll let you go and we'll do Facebook without you.
Can I lay the phone down and can you hear me?
You can try. Why don't you give it a shot?
Okay.
Oh, boy. It's going to be a disaster. I can already tell.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's all right, I guess.
Go ahead.
No, it's your segment. You're gonna read
Read us jokes.
or your wrestling report or whatever. I see Granny has now put the phone back up to her ear.
I'm just, for now.
Do you have the soaps or anything else, Granny, or is that it?
I want to quit for now.
Okay. Well,
No more.
instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe.
Wrestling Observer Live back on the air. A filthy, funky Friday. Filthy Tom Lawler here hosting the show as Bryan is on his way actually to Spokane, Washington, which has been afflicted by some horrific fires recently. So I hope and pray for the best for everybody there. But Bryan is on his way there. I myself will be leaving tomorrow morning to meet up with him, as we will be going to Relentless Professional Wrestling at the Players and Spectators venue where the show will take place. We will not be getting in the ring by any means. It's not happening. Last time was a one-time thing. We teamed up with Chris Masters. We defeated the Ascendancy. But we're not doing that again. I've made it quite clear to Bryan that he's been on a power trip lately trying to tell me what to do. But we will be there with our boy Will E. Largeman doing commentary. So the odds of you being in Spokane, Washington, if you don't live there for tomorrow's show, are probably slim. However, if you're in the area and can make it, we'd love to see you. So, but anyways, that's where Bryan is. So if anybody cares, do you? No? Okay. Well, tonight, I care about what's going to happen on WWE SmackDown and what is going to happen between CM Punk and Kevin Owens before their undisputed title match in Toronto, which will take place in 2 weeks. Of course, Kevin Owens made a surprise return to defeat Sami Zayn, Gunther, and Finn Balor at SummerSlam in a fatal four-way match to become the number one contender. Last week, after Cody Rhodes and CM Punk had a face-to-face, Kevin Owens came out and he got into it with CM Punk. They were separated by officials. They had a great back-and-forth interview segment, and it felt real. It's still real to me, damn it, when I was watching that show. And it was still real enough for the officials. They came in and broke it up after a little bit of shoving back and forth. But afterwards, Kevin Owens, incensed, went to Nick Aldis and called his shot. He said he wanted his match against the champ to take place in Toronto, his home country. So, also, will Cody Rhodes finally get his hands on Randy Orton? Orton, of course, attacked him, made a big return, and then has been ran away from him last week, ran away from the fight as Cody Rhodes was trying to come after him in the ring. Orton slithered out of the ring as a Viper would and avoided the confrontation, but they are on, of course, a collision course at some point, probably the next big pay-per-view, I would imagine. And also, Baron Corbin defends the U.S. title against Carmelo Hayes in Hayes' hometown of Boston, Massachusetts. One of the best states in the damn union, I'd say. JC Jane challenges Tiffany Stratton for the women's U.S. title. Can she win that belt and join the other members of Fatal Influence as champions? No news, which is sometimes good news, but I don't know if no news is good news in this news cycle. But no update on Chelsea Green, whether she is still the champion, whether she... Oh, hold on. Although sometimes the two-headed chimera doesn't necessarily work together, but the website here and the preview on WWE.com says last week Tiffany Stratton agreed to give JC Jane a Women's United States Championship match if Fatal Influence gave Tiffy and interim WWE Women's Champion Chelsea Green an impromptu WWE Women's Tag Title opportunity. So, according to WWE.com, right now at 12:29 p.m. Pacific time, Friday, August 14th, Chelsea Green is still the interim champion. So that means, I guess, Rhea Ripley is still the champion. Damian Priest and R-Truth will defend their championships tonight against the War Raiders and the MFTs as they clash in a three-way. And the big rumor, the big news is that Haku is in the house. Former tag team partner of mine, actually. I had the pleasure of not only facing him, but teaming with him in consecutive minutes years ago in Cleveland, Ohio. So awesome to see Haku back on the big stage. And that's not the only big wrestling show that's taking place this weekend on terrestrial cable television, whatever you call it, satellite cable, direct television, streaming, all of these options. AEW Collision, which actually was here last night in Las Vegas, right down the street at the Palms Hotel, which was coincidentally the very first venue that I fought at for the UFC during the Tough 8 finale back in 2008. That's where the event was last night. Awesome venue. GCW ran the Collective there a few years ago, for those of you who attended WrestleMania weekend there. And last year, I think High Spots and some of the other companies were running there. But a spoiler-free preview for you, as we have AEW Women's Tag Champions Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross, taking on two indie wrestlers in a non-title match. Mercedes Moné taking on Zeta Steel. Zeta Steel trying to get revenge. She wants revenge for the beating that Mercedes Moné put on Willow during an interview segment on Wednesday. The AEW Trios champions Hangman Page, Brody King, and Bandito defend against the Lethal Twist of Jay Lethal, Blake Christian, and Lee Johnson, who I'm not sure if they are officially in the Demand or not. They helped the Demand win the Trios titles weeks ago, and then we're with them on stage. So I don't know if they are in the Demand. I don't know if they're a subgroup. I don't know if Lethal Twist is just Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, and Jay Lethal is part of the Demand. I mean, it's very whatever. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Continental Challenge Cup continues. Katsuyori Shibata takes on Nigel McGuinness. That sounds like it could be awesome. Kyle O'Reilly takes on Roderick Strong. That sounds like it could be awesome. Hechicero takes on Brian Cage. What? That sounds like it should be wacky and awesome. The Rascals and Leo Rush are in action against four indie wrestlers, and so are the Hurt Syndicate, Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. Those are your big wrestling shows for the weekend, but probably a bigger newsworthy show will take place overseas in the wrestling world with the G1 Climax, which not only has the finals and semifinals of the tournament, but also has the Hiroyoshi Tenzan retirement match. So Tenzan, a 35-year veteran. I don't have enough time to even get into the accolades that this man has. I will try to talk a little bit more about him later when I talk about the G1. But before we get to the next segment, I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about the UFC show, which will take place. So there's a big wrestling show taking place internationally and a big MMA show domestically this weekend, as Islam Makhachev defends the 170-pound title against Ian Machado Gary. This is actually a run back of the Dagestan and Ireland rivalry, as I believe Ian Machado Gary was a big fan of Conor McGregor even as a youngster. There's a photo of him out there of Ian Machado Gary having dinner with Conor and his family, I believe a few years ago. But this is kind of a return of that rivalry. Of course, Makhachev, Nurmagomedov, Khabib, all these guys bring in a huge contingent of fans, and the Irish fans are always rabid for their fighting. So I expect a raucous atmosphere. This fight will take place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The co-main event is Mackenzie Dern against Jillian Robertson. The Inner G, Charles Johnson, the owner of the worst haircut in mixed martial arts, wrestling, planet Earth, wherever Lord Xenu lives. This man continually has the worst hair I've ever seen in my life. He takes on Jose Ochoa. Mansour Abdul Malik takes on Dustin Stoltzfus, and Edson Barboza, an old OG, rounds out the main card as he fights Esteban Ribovics in the opener. As far as the main event goes, the biggest fight on the show, Islam Makhachev is the heavy favorite, I believe. There have been some people, Sean O'Malley picked Ian Machado Gary to win, and I do not think that that is a bad pick by any means. Islam Makhachev does his best work up against the cage, pushing guys back. He does have very good wrestling skills, but, obviously you're fighting against the very best that the world has to offer, and he has not been able to get the takedowns out in the open space like he has been against the cage. So this is a fight in which Ian Machado Gary holds a great chance at winning. He's a very long fighter. He's young. He's got very good striking. And if he can stay off the cage, you know what? Now I'm going to go out on a long limb, one of Ian Machado Gary's long limbs, and I'm going to call the upset. I think he pulls it out, and I think we'll have a new champion at 170 pounds in the UFC. When we come back from the break, we will talk about the G1 and Hiroyoshi Tenzan Wrestling Observer Live.
Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Jared, put old Granny on. Let's see what she's up to. Oh, man, she's doing something. Oh, Lord.
She's trying to plug in the box, Brian.
Granny can't connect. And so I call her on the phone, and she alerts us that she apparently knocked the box off her desk. Whatever's happening right there, that doesn't look good. She knocked down the camera now? What's going on?
She's got a hold of the camera, I think.
She's okay. Well, we've got the ceiling at least. There's the box. Hey, we got the box, Jared. Does it look like it's plugged in?
No.
It's definitely not on.
No.
Okay. That's her back, I believe. She appears to be doing something.
Apparently yoga.
That's her hair. Are we sure that's not Ric Flair? Now she's got to find the phone, too.
Think anyone's going to still subscribe after the show?
I hope we get a bunch of video signups. This is interesting.
Is it now?
Oh, man, we can almost see the front of the tie line to see if it's on. But we can't. We can only see the side of it, as well as a flashlight and dice. I don't know why there are dice there.
Well, you never know when you're going to play dice in the dark.
She's still doing something.
That's good radio, boss.
Show that again, what's she doing?
You know what's a good show is the Big Vinny V show.
Is it?
Or if you Pod Armenia 2025.
She might be tying her shoe or something.
Ed and
down
San
there.
Antonio show.
Granny is furiously doing something. It's possible that we should sabotage the box every week.
No!
So that she can, get up and down, like Roddy Piper once said. No, I know. I'm calling you. Phone. I'm calling you. Oh, my God. How are you?
I'm exhausted. Oh, I want to tell Vinny I watched his show today.
Thank you, Granny. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good. That sounded very sincere.
Stunning review. Well,
Anyway.
can we please make that into a commercial, Jared, for Vinny's show? Apple Podcast carries every podcast that we produce.
Oh, I want to tell Vinny I watched his show today.
Thank you, Granny. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good.
So check it out, f4wonline.com/Apple. Try your free trial today. What is happening here? Yes, Granny?
I don't care if it's show or what. My computer went out and I can't fix it.
Okay. Jared, can you fix Granny's computer?
But he tried to get a pin.
I am Steve.
Brian, what are you doing?
Now my child is sending me a voice message.
Steel chicken jockey.
Wrestling Observer Live, back on the air. Filthy Tom Lawler in the house. I was letting the beat ride out. I love that song. What a great break song. Let's just play it. I mean, it should be like, what? I should do a segment like New Jack, where I just talk over an entire song. That probably wouldn't be good. Anyways, before we went to the break, I promised to talk about the G1 Climax 2026. And hey, who better to do that on Wrestling Observer Live than a former competitor, a former participant, a man who wrestled in the G1 Climax, none other than Filthy Tom Lawler. Me right here talking to you, baby. Not in this one. I was in the G1 Climax 2022, one of the best times of my life. Getting a live out my fantasies in Japan for 40-plus days. And these men have been going at it for weeks and weeks and weeks. This tournament began early July, actually, in the USA, and now is heading towards a climax this weekend in Ryogoku Kokugikan, which is Tokyo Sumo Hall, which is another place that I had the pleasure of wrestling. I actually wrestled Katsuyori Shibata at the Inoki Bumbaye in that very venue. And I watched the matches that put the semifinalists into the semifinals last night and today. And boy, oh boy, if the action that took place in these 4 contests is indicative of what we are going to get this weekend, I am excited. This is not... looking at the brackets of this tournament, there's a lot of, I don't want to say new wrestlers because they're not new, but wrestlers in need of a push. And a lot of people have lamented Gedo's booking recently of not getting the young guys into the place that they should be to carry the company in the future. And when you look at the lineup of the guys who are in this G1 climax, you have, let's take a look. Shingo Takagi, he's old. Goto, Sonata, they're old. But then you had a lot of youngsters. Yudo Ice, Oleg Bolton, Takeshita, the former winner, Ryohei Oiwa, Tsuji, Yuya Uemura, Gabe Kidd, who's established, Callum Newman, Drilla Maloney, Zack Sabre, of course, a former champion, Ren Narita. But then you've got Hanare, who's always at least a threat when it comes to tag matches. Aaron Wolf, who's in need of a spotlight just because of how big of a star he is. And I was left wondering, who are they going to push? Who is coming out of this as the winner? And at the end of the day, we don't know who's going to win yet, but we do know there is going to be a new champion, a new first-time champion, because in the first match to put a competitor into the semifinals, Ryohei Oiwa defeated Konosuke Takeshita in an absolutely fantastic match. This was my... it's like, I don't know if it's the best match I've seen this year, but it may be my favorite match. Entirely built around Oiwa's big lock, which, if you don't know what the big lock is, it's a headlock. He grabs a hold of the guy's head. He gets his now big, beefy biceps, squeezing him. He puffs out his voluptuous pecs, and he pulls the guy's head in as tight as he can for the submission. He's won matches with this very hold. He used it multiple times to counter Takeshita's offense, Takeshita's attempts at backdrop suplexes, his, of course, vaunted Blue Thunder bomb. And Oiwa spammed the big lock over and over, almost got the submission with it. And at the end of the day, at the end of this match, he ended Takeshita's day, ended his tournament, leveled the former G1 winner and IWGP champion with a spinning lariat, and got the win. You gotta watch this match. You've gotta watch Oiwa versus Takeshita. You gotta do it. And by hook or by crook, I couldn't believe it, Jake Lee and Yota Tsuji overachieved on all levels. This Jake Lee, he's doing a half clown face gimmick, which, in a lot of ways, I empathize with. I identify with that as well, Jake Lee. And at one point, he took some clown makeup and he dressed this Yota Tsuji, who I do not like. I'm not a fan of this Yota Tsuji character. I think he's much like Tiger Mask 4, if you ask me. But Jake Lee took his makeup. He made Joker-style lip paint on Yota Tsuji's face, which Tsuji wrestled the rest of the match in. And Jake Lee carried Yota Tsuji through this match at the end of the match ate a fire blaster, which is essentially a spinning spear or gene blaster, or like a sling blade style spear, into the corner. He got pinned. And seriously, Jake Lee looked good in this match. Okay, hold on real quick. Someone in the chat just pointed out this. Tom's McGregor poster is a big yikes in the background. I don't have a Conor McGregor poster, you fool. It's a show I fought on. That's why it's up there. Okay, get out of here. Anyways, back to the G1. Yuya versus Oscar. Yuya targeted the arm. Oscar was awesome as a big guy who faded out later in the match. This was solid. Didn't try to be anything that it wasn't. Yuya was in a situation where a win would advance him to the semifinals, and he got the win with an arm bar. The new school, old school, strong style back in play. Yuya Uemura winning with the arm bar after working over the arm the majority of the match. And then Callum Newman was also in a situation where he needed to defeat his stablemate in the United Empire, Hanare, to advance. And Hanare started with a haka to show he was not going to give the leader of the UE anything. They brawled on the floor. Callum Newman did just the darndest running stomp right to the mana-filled testicles of the Maori Mauler, Hanare. But Hanare fought on, tackled Newman through some tables, and holy crap. One tackle through these tables. Newman gets up, his back is cut open, big hole in his back, immediately bruised. I've never seen bruising happen this quickly. Newman's whole lower back on the right side was purple, black, brown, fuchsia, sienna, colors I've never even seen on the spectrum. And he and Hanare beat the crap out of each other. Newman won with the make way, which is a fireman's carry into a rock bottom. This match was really good too. I like this fatter Callum Newman version compared to the old skinny guy Will Ospreay clone that he was at the beginning. So I thought Callum Newman looked great here. Hanare looked awesome. And after the match, Hanare, or actually I should say Callum Newman told Hanare that he's tough, but he's the leader of the United Empire. And his allegiance should lay with him and not Will Ospreay. So called out Ospreay still in his post-match. And that leads us to the G1 Climax semi-finals, which take place, of course, Saturday and Sunday. The finals will happen. The A block finished with three people actually at the top with 12 points. Yotasuji, Ryohei Oiwa, Konosuke Takeshita, all finished with 12 points, 6-3 records. But Takeshita was eliminated on the tiebreaker after losing to Oiwa. And in fourth place in that block, Oleg Bolton, or Bolton Oleg, as some would like to call him. And in the B block, we had Yuya Uemura with 12 points, Gabe Kidd with 12 points, and Callum Newman also with 12 points. But due to head-to-head losses to Callum Newman and Yuya Uemura, which I believe Yuya Uemura was the only Japanese wrestler to defeat Gabe Kidd, Yuya Uemura and Callum Newman move on. And tomorrow, or I guess I should say tonight, this will actually be tonight. It's tomorrow in Japan, but it'll be late tonight for us. The semifinals are set. I'll run down the whole card. Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, Yasuda Nakahara will take on the United Empire. Takeshita, Taichi, Desperado, and Taguchi, who I believe is now the DDT Universal Champion, will take on Ren Narita, Sonata Duki, and Sho from the House of Torture. Gabe Kidd and Wheeler Yuta versus Drilla Maloney and Daiki Nagai. Okay, Wheeler Yuta making a rare random appearance over in Japan. Shingo Takagi, Yuto Ice, Oscar, Taichi Ishimori, and Gedo take on Togi Makabe, Toru Yano, Yuji Nagata, Yo, and Master Wato. And then the semifinals, Callum Newman versus Ryohei Oiwa, Yota Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura. And, I'm going to go. I think they should pull the trigger. I think they should go. I think Yuya Uemura defeats Yota Tsuji. I always like the booking where somebody pins the champion in the tournament to get a future title shot, but also doesn't win the tournament, so it sets up two challengers. So I hope, and I'm picking Yuya Uemura to get the upset win over Yota Tsuji, Ryohei Oiwa over Callum Newman, and in the finals, we are going to have a new G1 Climax champion, and his name will be Ryohei Oiwa. I think he's going to get it done with the big lock. He's going to pop those pecs, get those biceps going, and get the submission win in the finals. And to end the show, already scheduled the retirement match of Hiroyoshi Tenzan as he takes on Satoshi Kojima. So just a few of the superlatives for Hiroyoshi Tenzan, who was debuted in 1991, won the 1993 Young Lions Cup. He actually went and trained with Tokyo Joe in Canada and brought back the Anaconda Vice to Japan to go on a big run later in his career. He how many championships did this man win? IWGP Heavyweight Championship 4 times. IWGP Tag Team Championship record 12 times, 5 times with Masachono, 6 times with Satoshi Kojima, 1 time with the RIP, now deceased Osamu Nishimura, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He was the G1 Climax champion 3 times. He won the Super Grade Tag League, the G1 Tag League. He won All Japan's World's Strongest Tag League with Kojima, the very man that he is going to face tomorrow. He was the New Japan MVP, the Tokyo Sports Fighting Spirit Award. He's done it all. He's won them all. Hiroyoshi Tenzan's going to retire tomorrow, 5 minutes against Kojima. And when we come back, we've got 2.5 minutes with Filthy Tom to end Wrestling Observer Live.
Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful.
I am going to channel the well-known, infamous roast of Bryan and Lance.
Oh my God.
I vaguely remember this.
Lance was a champion in virtually every company he has appeared in. While he did hold the distinction of holding 3 titles, that angle fizzled out faster than his podcast, Killing the Town.
Wow. I now remember this utter disaster of a roast.
Let's get Lance a chair to sit in. And as we do, could we also bring someone up here to show him how to use it? I remember that chair shot. I don't remember who it was on, but
utter silence that this roast was met with.
Tom, at least I was smart enough not to do those chair shots again.
Bryan, besides me, there are others who I'm sure dislike you, like Vince Russo, Eric Bischoff, but I think you're great. Like a guiding light or a father, which is why I'm not surprised when you screw me every week. The best-selling author of The Death of WCW. He had just completed his new book, for which actually Lance Storm wrote the foreword, which is 3 more than most wrestling fans know.
Hideous. Atrocious.
It must be hard when you look so young. If I didn't know better, I'd say you had your grandma's jeans. But actually, if the camera panned down, I bet Lance is wearing them. Anyways, let's start the show. Carmelo went for the La Mystica. Andrade went for the Message.
It's actually not the La Mystica. It starts like La Mystica, but the La Mystica is actually a submission, and he doesn't land in the submission. He just does the whole slam part and then jumps up.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Mystica is
whoa,
a
whoa.
tilt-a-whirl head scissor into a Fujiwara armbar.
Into a Fujiwara
Yes.
armbar. The La Mystica is not the submission. Do not tell me.
I didn't say that was a
that.
submission. I said the La Mystica involves the tilt-a-whirl facebuster into the submission. The whole thing. Why are you so angry?
Well, you just
Because
changed
it's
what
not
you
what
said
you
and lied.
said.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
that's
he doesn't
why.
land in a submission. He just slams them. So it's not a La Mystica.
I believe that's the actual move.
Okay,
but
whatever. Who
Yeah.
cares?
I just hope editor Sean pulls up the exact clip of you saying La Mystica is a submission and then denying it afterwards.
La Mystica is actually a submission. I didn't say that was a submission.
The Mystic is actually a submission? I didn't say that was a submission.
Editor Sean.
Wrestling Observer Live, back with you on a filthy, fun, funky Friday. It's Filthy Tom Lawler, and we are in the final segment of the show. As I said, 2.5 minutes with Tommy Filth himself, and somebody on the chat asked, hey, have you ever wrestled Tenzan or Tenkoji? And unfortunately, I did not have the pleasure of wrestling Hiroshi Tenzan, but I did watch many of his matches when I was younger. He had a cool buffalo headdress, and I also used the Anaconda Vice as a tribute to him and some other UFC fighters as well. But I have wrestled Kojima many times in the past. Honestly, one of my favorite individuals on the planet is probably Satoshi Kojima, and if he is a friend of Tenzan's, or Tenzan is a friend of Kojima's, then he is a friend of mine, and I am a fan of Tenzan. I wish I gave Lance the day off, but Lance would be the one, I believe, to ask about Hiroshi Tenzan, because he spent some time with him over in Germany, if I remember correctly. And, hold on. Actually, Lance just sent me an update. He's found Mug Root Beer. What a way to end the show with the big news that Lance is he's crossed over into the bark side. Oh my God. And he's, I don't know if he's going to purchase it, but he's at least looking at it. But Lance, I think, would have some stories about Hiroshi Tenzan. I unfortunately have stories about Kojima, and they are mostly about him blasting me as absolutely hard as he can in the face with his lariat. So even if I had a story about meeting Tenzan, I likely wouldn't remember it because of the man that he is going to face in only hours in his retirement match. So happy retirement to Hiroshi Tenzan. Happy Friday, happy weekend. Good luck. Have a great time. See you guys next time. Peace.